Good afternoon or good noon, good lunch. Hey guys, this is Eureka John at Eureka Street Crypto coming out to you live from where I work, factory. I'm taking a lunch break. It is lunch hour, and I don't have anything better to do over lunch right now than take a break and talk about crypto and update you guys on the news. And I just wanted to talk about what interests me the most, more than currently my job right now, which is the crypto market. And I'm always keeping an eye on the crypto market. And I just wanted to take a break and talk about the news. Last night I made a video about the Waves protocol. That was a hard one to trudge through, but I made it through. And it's up on YouTube. You can take a look. And it is what it is, and it's out there for the world to see. And let me know what you think about the Waves protocol. It'd be pretty interesting to hear some feedback on that video. But anyway, let's take a look at the market today here. And let me get over to the CoinGecko page. Things have been going wild with Bitcoin lately. It's hit the all-time high last week, and then it's dropped down dramatically, and everybody's just been screaming in the sky. It's falling, all the noobs anyway. And this is crypto. I saw it drop just as much, if not more, last March when COVID hit, and that's when I really started getting in and buying Bitcoin. Previous to that, I was just buying small coins. So, right now, honestly, this is a great time to buy. I don't have any extra money to be pouring into cryptocurrency right now, but if this low market right now can just sustain itself till Friday, then I'll get a paycheck and I can put a little bit of money into crypto again. I hold Bitcoin, I hold Ethereum. Ethereum is hovering right around 1,000. Bitcoin's at 34,000. Seriously, like mid-December, this would have been a dream for Bitcoin to be holding at 34,000. All the TA people, technical analysis, they're basically saying that this could be a head and shoulders pattern, which I totally suck at TA, but I'm going to try to show you guys here. Let me see here. Let me pull up the 14-day chart here. That should probably be sufficient. And so you have shoulder, head, and shoulder. And what it does after this will basically determine where Bitcoin's going to go for a while. It could completely shoot up from here, or it could drop off and then settle back down around 20,000, maybe mid 20,000, which still to me is great. I don't think I haven't bought Bitcoin for anything above 20-something thousand, 22,000 maybe. I think it's the last time I put in a few coins into Bitcoin. So, either way, I'm ahead, and I'm sure a lot of people are ahead. How do you feel about Bitcoin? I feel good about Bitcoin. I'll check that thumbs up button. So I'm not too worried about all this dip. There's a bunch of new people and institutions getting in. Actually, the institutions probably know better, but a lot of new people have been getting in because of all this new all-time high hitting, and they're not used to crypto volatility. I had my coworker come to my office today, and he talked about some stock he bought, and it went up like 5 or 10% or something like that. And he was just talking about how he's kicking himself in the butt for not having bought more of that stock. And I'm just like, 5%. That's a mellow day in the crypto world for sure. So after messing with crypto for a couple of years now, I've now come to the point where I've seen some dips and some spikes, and I think this is a healthy retracement. I think this is good. Head and shoulders or not, even if it does settle down in the low 20s for a while, that is an amazing time to buy. I actually hope that happens because I do believe by the end of 2021, it's going to be real tough to accumulate Bitcoin for sure. Just my perspective, not financial advice. I don't even have to say that, but I'll say it anyway. Anyway, let me take a look at the Theta stream here, make sure all that is going okay. Okay, good. All right, so I'm up on Theta Live. I like Theta TV. This is a great streaming platform. It's decentralized broadcasting platform, so unlike YouTube, Theta won't come in and send an algorithm in to censor me by keyword or anything like that. With all this stuff going on with Trump lately, and Twitter delisting Trump off the platform, and Amazon delisting Parler, I'm not gonna claim to be one side or the other. I talk about crypto. That's I'm not a political broadcast, but I do think it presents a strong case for decentralization of all social media, whether it be broadcast streaming, whether it be something like Facebook or Twitter. Decentralization, everything needs to go on the blockchain. There should not be any one entity to flip the light switch on or off. Now, how that would come into play regarding some things like child porn and snuff porn and illegal activities like that, that needs to be figured out. But overall, I think decentralization of all media platforms is a great idea. Therefore, you can't have any one entity decide what is appropriate for the rest of the adults in the world to watch and look at and listen to. And a lot of people say usually the people doing the censoring are the ones with the most power, and those are the ones you need to watch out for. So, yeah. Anyway, all over the news, you're seeing stuff about Bitcoin. Hold on, let me see here. One of the biggest headlines I've seen across the news today is Christine Lagarde. She is the president of the European Central Bank, and she wants the dogs of regulation unleashed on Bitcoin. She just can't stand the idea that Bitcoin is out there doing what it's doing, creating decentralized currency that is accessible to everybody. She says Bitcoin regulation has to be addressed through multilateral action, says the ECB's Lagarde. If there is an escape, that escape will be used. I like what Altcoin Buzz had to say on Twitter. They said Bitcoin is super transparent and serves as the global freedom currency. Some people with power look at anyone who wishes to be free as criminals. That's absolutely true. Banks conduct funny business, in Christine Lagarde's words. If there is an escape, that escape will be used. Escaping the burr, and by burr he means the money printer for quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is basically just the Federal Reserve printing and printing and printing their way to placate all the people and devalue any type of currency that is currently there. And at the rate we're going now, our dollar won't be worth jack squat. So let's take a quick look at what Christine Lagarde has to say here. I don't know if you can hear that. I can't hear it. Well, anyway, yeah, if you can hear it, she's basically saying it's funny business. Actually, decrypt.co, kind of transcribes it here. Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, said today that Bitcoin is a speculative asset that must be regulated. Lagarde told Reuters during a press conference that followed a meeting of the ECB's governing board, it is a highly speculative asset which has conducted some funny business and some interesting and totally reprehensible money laundering activity. That is always the go-to case that all these regulators and world leaders try to say, that Bitcoin and decentralized cryptocurrency and decentralized any type of decentralized activity is just for criminals and for money launderers and stuff like that. When really they are just upset that they can't regulate it and it is out of their hands to control. So that's the real reason. And she goes on to say Bitcoin's nefarious activities, she said, is demonstrated very clearly by previous and current criminal investigations. Just last month, Italian police arrested the CEO of crypto exchange BitGrail and accused him of laundering $2 million in cryptocurrency. Lagarde added there has to be regulation that has to be applied and agreed upon at a global level, because if there is an escape, that escape will be used. Global cooperation and multilateral action is absolutely needed, whether it is initiated by the G7, moved into the G20, and then enlarged. It's something that needs to be addressed, she said. The G7 nations, which include Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and US, pushed for regulation in a statement last month. The spokesperson for US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin urged a need to regulate digital currencies. Commenting on the recent Bitcoin bull run, spike to the price of Bitcoin at 10,500 at the start of October. See, it was just 10,500 in October. Now it's at 34,000, even with a dip, to highs of over 40,000 last month. Lagarde said that Bitcoin is a speculative asset by any account. For those who would assume this might turn into a currency, I'm terribly sorry, but this is an asset. Basically, what she's saying is that a currency is a commodity, an asset is usually a security. She's, in a way, to me, I think, trying to say that Bitcoin is a security, and a security is anything that you invest in the hopes that it will increase in value, and that is something that is highly regulated, and that would be bad for a cryptocurrency. And that's kind of what XRP has been going through with the whole commodity versus security lawsuit going on, and what has caused turmoil in the XRP world. And they want to clamp down on Bitcoin in the same way, and we'll see. I don't think that they're going to have good luck with it, because Bitcoin is basically math. But it's interesting. Joseph Lubin doesn't quite take the antagonistic stance that Altcoin Buzz did here. Joseph Lubin is one of the co-founders of Ethereum, and Ethereum is the open source platform for decentralized applications on the blockchain. So lots of exchanges, lots of applications, lots of programs, and dApps, decentralized applications, are built on Ethereum, and Ethereum has the cryptocurrency called ETH, and ETH is the gas that runs those programs. So think about something like Microsoft, and if you had a program on Microsoft, and Microsoft issued a token in which you had to pay for each time you used the program, that would be basically the ETH to any program that runs on Ethereum. So anyway, Joseph Lubin, regarding his predictions for 2021, he said about public dialogue with regulators. He says, we're going to have a dialogue in the coming year about appropriate usage, appropriate understanding, interpretation of blockchain-related technology. So there are some discussions amongst regulatory circles in the United States about non-custodial wallets, for instance. So I predict that the discussion goes well, that people in power in different parts of the world understand that throwing the baby out with the bathwater is the dumbest thing you can do. There will be a public discussion in the U.S. and others, and then it will go well. It's just such a slam dunk how valuable this technology is. So I look forward to, whether it's me or others, to us all having the opportunity to help regulators and politicians understand why we're on the same team. So Joseph Lubin has a pretty positive outlook, an optimistic outlook. He thinks that we can work with these regulators. Christine Lagarde, she seems to have the attitude that Bitcoin is a scourge. Joseph Lubin seems to think that a lot of these regulators don't understand blockchain and cryptocurrency. I think Christine Lagarde understands what it is. She seems to be a very smart lady. She seems to want to bring in the central bank digital currencies, which probably would not mesh well with Bitcoin. I don't know the ins and outs of this stuff, but just that's the way it seems to me. She does not like the idea of a decentralized, non-central bank digital currency floating around that could be used to circumvent the traditional banking system, even in a digital currency type of way. Joseph Lubin says that there are regulators that would listen and don't throw that baby out with the bathwater. I agree with that. There are ways in which I think cryptocurrency could use more regulation, and the whole case that happened in July of 2020 with the whole DeFi boom and all these flaky decentralized finance protocols popped up, like Sushi, all these high APY promises just kind of vanished into thin air, had rug pulls, exit scams, all types of stuff. And a lot of people lost their money because they were jumping into some weird protocols based on basically nothing, and or based on food memes and stuff like that. So definitely a place for regulation, but regulation in the way that Christine Lagarde talked about. I don't think we need to go that far, and I think there has to be some kind of middle ground, and I think that's kind of what Joseph Lubin is hoping for. That being said, DeFi is right now still super strong. Cointelegraph has a good article, 3 key reasons why the DeFi sector is booming again. And they say that Bitcoin and Ethereum are carrying the market higher. So DeFi right now is booming. There's a total value locked right now on DeFi of, I'm just finding DeFi Pulse. It's a great website. Hold on, let me just so DeFiPulse.com. So here is DeFi, and DeFi includes all these decentralized finance protocols like Maker, Aave, Uniswap, Compound, Synthetics, Curve Finance are just the top 6 here, but there's a ton of them. I mean, it goes, a lot of them. All right, so as you can see, and this is all, what DeFi is people locking up their crypto assets or working on a decentralized finance exchange or working with decentralized synthetics platforms or anything like that that is basically a mathematical protocol and not on a centralized and centrally controlled entity. And for example, Aave is a place where you can lock up some of your tokens and borrow against it, and then earn interest on the tokens that are locked up. So and it's all done by math, and it's you have full control of your funds, and there's no one central entity that can take that away or change it up on you. It's locked on a smart contract. So as you can see, we did have the dip in the DeFi, and I think this is probably some liquidation that happened. But then here we go, we're headed right back up. And I think it's going to continue to boom with the boom in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't think it's going to stop anywhere, so that's contributing to the DeFi market going higher. The total value locked is on the rise. So as I said here about people locking up their assets, data from DeFi Pulse shows that the total value locked across DeFi protocols has increased from 15.36 billion to 22.74 billion over the past 10 days. This sharp increase in total value locked coincides with Bitcoin's rally from 29,000 to its 41,950 all-time high. So even though it dropped to 34,000, we're still doing really well. So don't look a gift horse in the mouth, basically. Increasing DEX volume. DEX is decentralized exchange, like Uniswap. Last night I talked about the SSwap.5 on Waves, and there's a bunch of others. KyberSwap, there's Paraswap, there's 1inch Exchange. There's a ton of different decentralized exchanges. And so here it says volume and transactions are key metrics used when evaluating the value of a DeFi project and the strength of its community. One way to determine this is to look at the daily volume of a project's decentralized exchange to get a picture of how much value is transacted on the protocol during a particular time frame. Since the start of 2020, the daily DEX volume for the top-ranked DeFi projects has more than doubled from 900 million on January 1st to a peak of 2.4 billion on January 4th, indicating a significant increase in user activity. Well, that might be them stimulus checks. I mean, I got my stimulus check. And yes, I did drop some money into cryptocurrency, and I did use Uniswap to do that as well. So I have contributed to some of this DEX activity. With ETH 2.0 still rolling out, a critical issue to monitor during any DeFi boom is Ethereum gas fees and transaction speeds, and that is absolutely the case. I did pay a lot more for my transaction on Uniswap and Ethereum than I normally did because of all the congestion and traffic, and there are some protocols bouncing around and being developed that are dealing with this gas situation. There's Loopring, Cardano is trying to develop its own platform. You have Silica. Last night I talked about Waves protocol. People are trying to address these high Ethereum gas fees during these times. Ethereum 2.0 will be addressing these completely for the gas fees and transaction fees, but that's taking time. They're doing a transition from 1.0 to 2.0, from proof of work to proof of stake, and that transition is taking time. But Ethereum is using a combination of rollups and I believe sharding, which are two ways in order to basically widen the lanes of the transaction highway for the blockchain. As reported by Cointelegraph, tokens like Solana, Loopring, Matic, and Thorchain's Rune have all rallied as developers continue to search for and experiment with Layer 2 options. And what a Layer 2 option is, something that might work on top of the Ethereum platform to create those alternate routes necessary in order to have faster transaction speeds and lower gas fees. Polkadot is also another opportunity to deal with this issue as well. That's a whole other protocol in itself that I need to make a video about. But yeah, anyway, Elio Trades also did a really good video yesterday. You should watch it. And he compared the dollar index with the Bitcoin graph. And I'd never heard of the DXY, the dollar index. So he kind of educated me on that. And he pointed out that anytime that there's a spike in the dollar value, there is a dip in the Bitcoin value. So all you got to do is zoom in and closely study this DXY graph, and then as you can see, the DXY has been slowly going down over the past year. Actually, that's not slow when you think of the long-term scheme of things. But here we had, if you zoom in, you can slightly see that there's a little spike, and that's when we had our dip. So right there. And then last March, during the COVID crisis, we had a huge spike in the dollar, and then, it's been slowly declining since then. And then if you notice, and he pointed out perfectly in his video, I'm not going to try to do it here, but anytime that there was kind of a slight acceleration or a little spike in the dollar, the Bitcoin would drop. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So check out Elio Trades. He did a great video on that. It's ELLIOTRADES, Elio Trades on YouTube, and it's his live video yesterday. So yeah, his comparison between the DXY and the Bitcoin graph. Anyway, I think that's all I have for today. Let me see, let me check the state of stream. Okay, so the stream is still going well. I need to get back to work. You guys have a good day. Yeah, I will catch you at another time. And my next video, I think I'm going to try to do my next video on the Quant network. Because Quant has a lot of good stuff. They have what's called, they're another kind of Ethereum alternative, but they're kind of like Polkadot in a way. They've created an overledger, which is a way to have multiple blockchains of different types talking to each other. And Polkadot has what's called a parachain, and it's kind of the same concept. Obviously not the same. Somebody from Polkadot or Quant would be upset about me saying that they're the same, but they're not. But they're similar. They work in like capabilities. I guess I could say. So anyway, I'll look forward to doing that. Let me just take a quick look once more at where things are. So you have Bitcoin at 35,000, Ethereum at 1,097, XRP back up at 30 cents. I have no idea what's going on with XRP. I'm not even going to speculate. I'm just stepping back and watching the train wreck and what's going on here. Data Network, one of my favorites, and I'm broadcasting live on Data Network right now. It's $2.13. It's a great buy. Unibright, all the way down, is a really good buy. Coming up mid-January, Unibright is going to be rolling out in full form its baseline protocol with Coca-Cola North America, and this basically brings out decentralized finance for enterprise and for large businesses like Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola is going to be implementing that, and then several large beverage bottling services. And basically what that does is it creates a set of standards for all those beverages and the supply chain to be based on the blockchain. And the free equity platform within that provides decentralized finance to enterprise, to corporations. Basically what that means is they can lock up their payables or their invoices, and they can factor their invoices and borrow against it on the blockchain. So, and they can do it in a decentralized way. So this is going to be huge. Right now, Unibright at 59 cents is cheap. I think it's going to do amazing things this year, regardless of what happens with Bitcoin. I have a nice bag of Ethereum, and I can't wait to see what happens. Not Ethereum, I have a nice bag of Unibright, and I can't wait to see what happens with it. All right, well, I will catch you guys on the flip side. I'll talk to you later.